Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have been Christmas crafting pretty much most of the day, watching YouTube videos of all of you and doing some Christmas crafting here at the house for some swaps and challenges that I have coming up. And I know that I need to do our second portion of our little golden book journals. So in the first video, I showed you how to take them apart and take the pages out so that you could keep your binding. And so I showed you how to take them apart safely so that you could keep everything intact. And today we are going to put a binding back on them so that we can turn them into a junk journal. So this is how we do it, or this is how I do it. Now there might be different ways. I know that there are different ways because I've watched a lot of videos showing me different ways, and I forgot to cut my Tyvek. Oh shoot. Showing me different ways how to do this. So not saying any one of them is right or wrong, but for me, what I've been doing has been working out really well. So I'm going to keep doing it the way I'm doing it, but I don't want to discredit anybody else. So at all, everybody has their own reason for doing it the way they do it. So one of the reasons I like to do it this way is because I like to keep this flap. Now this is pretty weak from years of use and, you know, just being old. So we're going to support that today with a piece of chipboard. What I've done is I've cut one piece of chipboard. This is going to be 8 inches. The book is slightly under, like a sliver under 8 inches long or high. I'm going to actually trim off just a little little snip of this. So that it matches closer. This is going to be the spine piece. This one I like to do 2 inches. If you want to put a lot of bulk into your journal, you'll want to make it thicker. If you don't want to put as much, then you can make it thinner. I find that 2 inches is getting pretty bulky. I could probably fill it more. The last one I did, I filled up and I wanted to keep going and it was getting really full. So since it was a gift for somebody else, I didn't want to do that and take away from what they could add to it. And then I put 1 or 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 8 inches. And these are going to be the support for that fold. So I'm going to go ahead and add those on before I cut my Tyvek. That way they'll be a little drier before we get working. I don't know why I flipped that over, but they're both going to be covered up. And I like to use my Barely Art glue. You can use the glue that works best for you. I do not recommend glue sticks because glue sticks may not hold up to wear and tear. And if somebody is really truly using their journal, they're going to be turning those pages a lot. And you want this to hold up, especially if it's a gift. You don't want it to fall apart. So let's go ahead and glue that on there. So you want to use a glue that's really going to hold up. Now you want to put it all the way to the edge here, and it should go over that crease so that once this is dry, it's not going to bend there anymore. This is going to be a solid piece. Okay, this is chipboard that I got actually out of, it's actually fairly thin. I got it out of some packaging. You could use a cereal box, you could use some other things that you have around home. You don't have to go buy something special for this. You could even layer, cardstock probably isn't quite strong enough, but you could probably layer a few pieces and that would probably be okay. It just needs to be strong enough so that that bend won't happen anymore. Okay? And we're going to be putting fabric over that, so that's going to add even more thickness to it. Cash is saying hello if you can hear her. She's down here by my feet. You guys have met Cash before, or heard her anyway. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this up. I forgot to trim these to the right width too. See, this paper is just a little bit longer, so I'll trim that to match. Let's see if this one's too long. Hi, Cashy. All right, so those are those. And make sure that you've got these on the right side too, so that when you open it, it's going the right direction. Next, we're going to use Tyvek. We get these envelopes from the post office all the time. This material is pretty much, you can't tear it. So this is a great material to have on your journal because it's going to withstand a lot of wear and tear. So this is going to be, oops, I got it locked. This is going to be 3 inches. Let's see, wait a minute. I think 3 1/4 is what I figured out. Because I've got 2, 3 1/4. So I want 3 1/4. And I'll show you how I figured that out in just a minute. My cutter doesn't even want to cut it, but that's okay because I'm going to use my scissors. It's hard for me to hold it tight on that end. Cut this with my scissors. It made a good mark there. All right, and then 8 inches. See if it'll cut it again this way. Try to keep my fingers out of the way. I got cut on this cutting board, you guys, one day, and OMG. It went right down to the bone. So I don't force it. Okay. So we've got this. I'm going to move this piece aside. This is our spine. I'm going to move this aside for a minute. And I'm going to turn these both over. And what I want to do is I'm going to glue this Tyvek, hopefully you can see that, onto my board, but I'm going to make sure that it doesn't go past that fold mark. You can still see the fold mark, but you can see it doesn't fold because we glued that on there, so it doesn't fold anymore. Okay, now I want to put the Tyvek right in here, glue it on nice and firm. I'm even going to put some glue right in the crevice right there. And then I'm going to take the edge of my Tyvek and put it right there. I don't want to go over that because then my fabric, the fabric that we put over it is going to have to cover the Tyvek. So we don't want it to get too far over that it's cutting into the picture on the cover. We still want that to look nice. So we're going to go on the edge. We're going to smooth this out. I'm going to put a little glue under that little fold because that's going to bug me as I'm working with it. This one too. Nope, that one's lifted as well. Okay. Just make sure that's really good and on there. Okay. Then let's do the same thing on this side. I hope you guys are all doing well and that your crafting has been happening. And I hope that I'll show you something. I know a lot of you do these already. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there doing them. This is not something I've created. I've watched tons of videos, and if I could tell you who inspired me, I would, but I've watched so many videos trying to figure out what's going to work for me. And I've finally kind of figured that out for myself. So this is what's been working. I've got several of them put together. These are going to be, this one I'm actually going to be putting probably in my Etsy shop once it's finished. But the other ones I've been making for gifts for Christmas. So it's important to me to have them all looking good. All right, so just want to make sure that that's nice and firmly on there. Let it sit for a minute. And if I can turn this over carefully, I'll keep it from pulling back up. There we go. All right. So now that I've got the Tyvek in the middle and the pieces on the side, what I want to do with this piece, I'm going to glue it here. You want a gap here and here. 1/4 of an inch is too much. You just want it to come out so that there's no gap when you fold it. So it's just going to be the thickness of like your cardstock there. So let's go ahead and glue this in there. I say cardstock. I'm sorry, I meant chipboard. My brain is going 90 miles a minute. And I want to make sure I tell you guys the right thing though. Okay, we're going to put that right in the middle. And make sure it lines up on the top and on the bottom so that it's not all wonky and crooked. And then make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay. Next, you need to pick your fabric. So for this book, I want to use this Christmas fabric. I really like this one. And it can be, I don't think there's any stipulation on what kind of fabric you can use. I mean, pick something you like. Pick something that's going to be sturdy enough to hold your book. This one's not going to let me do it that way. This one's not going to let me rip it. Ooh, but I think it'll let me rip. Will it let me rip it the other way? I think I'm going the wrong direction as well. Let's cut this off first. I like to hold on to these strips because they're fun to use in snippet rolls and different projects, cards and stuff. Might not mean anything to anybody, but it's kind of fun because it's printed and it's different. It's kind of a label, so I hold on to those. And then let's try tearing it this way. I like my edges torn. They don't have to be. You can cut it, but I kind of like my edges torn. So I want this fabric to be as wide as these pieces, slightly over on the inside. And I'm only going to do the inside of this for now, because I'm going to use a different width on the other side, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, let's see if I can tear it this way. Nope, it's not going to let me. That's okay. All right, some of my fabric will and some of it won't. So let's just cut it. I'm just going to eyeball it. Most of that'll be covered in a minute anyway. All right, so here we go. So what we're going to do is put the glue on here too. I'm still using my Barely Arts. Paper to fabric, Barely Arts works really well. But when I get to glue the fabric to fabric, I'll use my Fabri-Tac. I find that works a lot better for me. It sticks faster and it tends to work better for me. If you have a favorite fabric to fabric glue, use that. That is my preference. Okay, put this on here. And my main goal right now is just to cover the cardboard or the chipboard pieces and smooth that out. Get those threads out of the way. All right. Guys, I have taped, I'm going to double check my camera really quick. I have taped this video so many times. It's still going good. And I think probably 4 times. I think this is probably the 5th time I have attempted to record this video. And I think it was because I didn't have enough memory on my phone. It wouldn't keep. So I'm a little hesitant, but almost feels like I'm not supposed to videotape it for some reason. So we're trying again today. All right, so this is the inside of the book. Now, and you could even, you could even use a different color or different fabric on the inside of the book if you wanted to. I like to keep them the same, but I might mix it up from time to time. And then we can flip it over. Now this side, I didn't use the same thickness from the other side, and I did the other side first because this one I'm going to fold over to the other side so that they don't have raw edges up here. And it'll also help provide a little bit more support. But this side is a little bit thinner or more narrow than the other side. So this side, remember we have the 2-inch piece here, and we had 1-inch piece on the other side, but it only goes to a 1/2 inch for this flap. So I need 2 inches plus a 1/2 inch plus a 1/2 inch is 3 inches, plus that tiny gap in here is going to be about 3 1/4. So I'm going to look here. See, this is the same width as the inside. If I was to put this on here, we would be covering a good part of the front page as well as the back. I don't want that. I like the look of it, I want the cover to show. So I'm going to actually cut this. Oops, I want some of it to flap over on each side. So I'm going to cut this about here. I'm not going to measure this side. You can kind of eyeball it. I'm not a big measurer. So when I give you measurements, it's because I had to figure it out because it didn't work some other way. I like to eyeball. So I'm going to snip right here because I know this will tear. And I'm going to pull this one out. So when I tear it, I pull over a little bit more on this side so that I can cut where I really want to cut it. right there. And then if it'll let me, and it's not gonna let me. Doggone. You let me tear it before. Come on. There we go. We'll use that for something else later. Maybe for the tassel that we put on the side. Okay, so this is a way. We're going to do it again. Make sure it is all unfolded. Get the longest strings off. See, I like the rough edges on both sides. I really, really do. It makes it more look like a junk journal. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to save that string too because I might use that for something later. Use it for my full deck challenge. If you guys been watching my full deck challenge cards, I've been I have showed them a few times in here on my YouTube. I also have them on my Facebook group, as well as I've been trying to post them all to Instagram too. So you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram under Side Gig Crafts. I've kept the name all the way across the board, make it easy. You can find me. And I even have, you guys, I even have a website for my tumbler business, because I do make custom tumblers. So if you're in the business for or looking for a custom tumbler, you can find me on Facebook or on my website, sidegigcrafts.com, and check that out. Eventually, I'd like to move my sidegigcrafts.com business into scrapbooking and journaling items. I've been approved to sell Stamperia product, so I'm hoping, I've got to get the money together to do my first order, but I'm hoping to get that going, maybe hopefully by Christmas is my goal. It's my goal. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's my goal. So stay tuned for that. I'll give you more information as I find out. Like I said, it's more about getting that. You have to have a certain size order for that first order, and that's substantial, so I got to get that together. All right, so that's glued down pretty good. I like to use my bone folder here, and if I can find my bone folder here, this will work too. Just to crease that, make sure it's down in the creases, and there we go. That should be nice and tight. And then we'll flip it back over here. Now this is where I use the fabric glue, because this is going to be fabric to fabric. I'm just going to glue this back down over this way. And my fabric glue never seems to work well otherwise, so I just kind of do this. Oops, except maybe not that much because I forgot this is the new bottle. So there's more in here than I thought. And I am a messy crafter, as you guys know. Hey guys, I have an idea. I want to do What's on My Desk Wednesday as a an idea to just show you guys what I've been working on, kind of like a project share on Wednesdays. But it might not be a project share. It might be a haul. It might be my dinner. It might be, I don't know what. But who would be interested in that? If you would, put it in the comments and what you'd like to see on Wednesdays. But I think I'm going to do something like that. Because there's lots of times when I have like projects sitting here and it's like, oh, I want to show you guys these things, and you know, it might be what I'm working on, or it might be just something fun, maybe something, I don't know, I'll make it fun. But if you're interested, tell me what you'd like to see, what kind of things you'd like to see on What's on My Desk Wednesday. I don't carry a purse, so I can't do what's in my bag. And I don't drink tea, so Tea Tuesdays is kind of out. I would like to drink tea though, don't get me wrong. You guys are welcome to send me some teas that you absolutely love. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know, but I actually have tea, both hot and cold, in my cabinet, and I live alone, and I don't drink it. I don't know why. Maybe I'll have some tea before I go to bed tonight. So that's that. So even though these are different sizes, it's hard to tell that they're different, that they are different sizes, and even so, your papers are going to be here. It's going to cover most of this up. And I like to bring this tab down a little bit lower so that hopefully the hole in the signature will connect into that and connect those together for additional security so that they stay intact. But that's it, you guys. That's completely it. That's the binding. That's how you do it. It's done. So I'm gonna press this back in here again. I might need to add some more glue in there. And as you can see, if you fold it slowly, you want to make sure that these are all in there really good. And you fold it, and that fabric will stretch to the shape it needs to be, and you're all set. You can trim up these edges. You guys, if you don't like the torn edges, you can definitely cut them. Some people like a cleaner look. That's cool. Everybody likes their own, and it's all set. It's done. So that's how you put the binding on your little golden book. So I hope you guys give it a try. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to probably maybe select pages, or maybe we'll create some pages, but we'll get some signatures together, and then I'll show you how to bind them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that button, hit the notification button. You'll get notified every time I post a video. And thanks again for watching. Love you all. Hope you're all having a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.